Oh my gosh. Hello, 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 hello. Mwah. One more hello to you gorgeous people out there. Hello. Welcome, 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 welcome to Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Yes, it is Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. Yeah, can you believe it? We're already in the second week of June and heading towards the official summer, although it does feel like summer already, doesn't it? Oh my God, the time is so hot. You already think it's summer. This summer is going to be a very hot one. And we're in hurricane season. So, oh my God, with that warm water out there, wow, going to be a very active season. We are already up to sea. And the name storms, right? Clovis, is it Clovis? I think it's Clovis that is already out there, churning in that water out there. Yeah, and I will have some more on that for you by tomorrow because I understand there's another system out there that it might join to make a superstorm. I'll have more for you tomorrow. Yeah, you know how storms go, right? Yeah, so we have to keep an eye on these systems when they form. Yeah, because we're in hurricane season. Absolutely. Yes, guys. Well, I have a lot of information for you today. But I'm going to change it up a bit. We can't be monotonous, don't it? Yeah, we don't do boring. Absolutely not. We don't do boring at all. We have to mix it up. So I'm going to mix it up today. Guess what today is, guys? June 9th, 2020. Today is the birthday of the YMCA. Yay! We know the YMCA, right? Almost everybody knows the YMCA. You have YMCA and you have YWCA, right? So YMCA, that's the Young Men's Christian Association, where the YWCA is the Young Women's Christian Association, right? Absolutely. We grew up on these things, absolutely. Especially for those of us who, well, basically, unless you are, even if you were over 100, even if you were over the 100, you'd still have been brought up on it because it would have come into, it would have been created while you were alive, right? Okay, it is 100 years old, guys. Today, June 9th, 2020. The YMCA is celebrating their 100th birthday. Mwah! Happy birthday, YMCA. Oh my God. So I got to start with that story, guys. Yeah, I'm changing it up. I'm going to start with the YMCA story. Absolutely. Today, June 9th, marks the 100th anniversary of the YMCA, which has molded the lives of countless at risk youth, though perhaps better known as the bedrock of swimming in Jamaica, right? That's where you go for the free pool, to swim in the free pool, right? Yeah, the celebrations will be muted but will not be abandoned. According to Sarah Newland Martin, she is the General Secretary of the Kingston YMCA. So she and her team, she said in January of this year, they were feverishly putting final touches to plans for a year-long celebration of the most significant milestone of the Kingston Young Men's Christian Association. And then what happened? COVID-19 hit. To quote her, she says, to celebrate this occasion, we have an organizing committee under the chairmanship of the Honorable Michael Fennell OJ to plan a series of events to highlight to the public at large the work of the Kingston YMCA, to re-energize all who participate in its programs, and to raise funds to sustain its activities whilst modernizing and introducing new programs. Newland Martin is the first woman general secretary of the Kingston YMCA, and she has had that position for a while. Let me continue the story. The team had planned to roll out the celebration starting Sunday, June 7th, with the usual church service, she said. However, all of these plans have had to be suspended in view of the present circumstances with the coronavirus pandemic, and we will therefore have to review these plans as soon as normality has returned. You will hear further from us on this in due course, she says. Fennell is a former president of the Jamaica Olympic Association. That's Mike Fennell, right? We know him popularly as Mike Fennell, an accomplished businessman and a philanthropist with a reputation as a patriot. This year, Newland Martin herself also marks a milestone as she is celebrating 34 years. It's been 34 years, guys, since taking the helm of the Kingston YMCA. First, as an associate general secretary, the post she held for 2 years, and then as the general secretary. A severely disabled woman, Newland Martin, in those 34 years, became the face of the YMCA and is now a household name and the best known Jamaican associated with the global organization. For her extraordinary work, she was awarded the insignia of the Order of Distinction, OD, by the government of Jamaica. Throughout its history, the YMCA has doggedly pursued a series of lofty programs aimed at building a family organization that enables the development of young people through structured activities to strengthen the spirit, mind, and body, and to promote the YMCA and its Christian values of love, peace, service, and justice. Newland Martin said, as we celebrate this important milestone, we are very proud of our achievements over the years. And this has been demonstrated clearly in large scale community outreach programs, including the establishment of Boys Town for vocational training, education, sports, culture, and spiritual upliftment of depressed youths in Western Kingston. She recalled that at the time of its emergence, the Y, as it is popularly known, was the most ambitious youth and social development program ever undertaken by a YMCA in the Caribbean, highlighted by the Youth Development Project, formerly the Street Corners Boys program, that promoted leadership development training for young people between the ages of 14 and 26 years. YMCA is also well known for its aquatics, taekwondo, summer camp, counseling, both formal and informal programs, and referrals. It also facilitates sports and games for people with disabilities. Excuse me. Are you guys hearing me? Is my feed fluctuating? Can you hear me? Because I'm getting the impression that you're back. Okay, great. Okay, because I was because it was okay, great. To continue, we wish to thank all who have assisted the work of the YMCA over the years, she says, in particular our staff, the volunteers, and our sponsors, and pledge our continued commitment to the development of our young people with solid Christian values. Amen. Yeah, that's the YMCA guys celebrating 100 years. Oh my God, that is awesome, 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 awesome indeed. Okay, okay. So let me now go into how I would normally start the program. Yeah. Jamaica now has 98 imported cases of the coronavirus disease COVID-19, bringing the total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Jamaica to 599, one short of 600 people. The new case is a 63-year-old female from St. Catherine who arrived from New York, United States of America, under the government's controlled re-entry program. More and more testing positive, guys. So, you know, all the reasons why the MAJ and everybody will have their say, because they will say you have to test everybody that comes in because you see what's happening. Yeah. Meanwhile, there has been no recovery of patients from the disease in the last 24 hours. Well, it would have been as of 5 p.m. yesterday, you know, right? Absolutely, because we get our reports every 24 hours. Yeah. Okay, so of course, my big data people have to give you the details. And so the total samples to date is now 14,802, with 14,168 negative, and as you heard, 599 that are positives. They did a sample of 216 over the past 24 hours up until 5 p.m. yesterday, yeah, when they got their results. Right, and so it's that number that we have that one positive case, right? We still have 35 samples that are pending, and we have to watch those pending, don't we? Yeah. Of course, the number of recovered, as I said, has not increased, so it's still 405. But now we have 46 persons in government quarantine. 208 in isolation. Now, when they say isolation, guys, they're including home isolation, but I recognize also they're also including hospitalized persons, because they have isolation as 181 plus hospitalized 27, giving a total of 208. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And still two persons who are critically ill, we continue to pray for and hope for their recovery if it is the Lord's will. Yeah. So still 27 local transmission, still 218 for the contact of confirmed, still 236 for Alarico. Yeah. Total number of females now 344, while the males still remain at 255. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's why big data number. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back now, guys, to after all that um exciting news at the beginning, and now I have to go back now to give you a sad news. Yeah. So 32-year-old Angela Gale and her daughter, 4-year-old Brianna Walker, both of New Green District in Manchester, have been reported missing since Saturday. That's the Saturday gone here, guys. Yeah. Now, that was what, June 6th? Yeah. Mm. Gail is of a brown complexion, stout build, and is about 5 feet 5 inches tall, while Brianna is of a brown complexion, slim build, and is about 4 feet 3 inches tall. She seems a bit tall, doesn't she? The 4-year-old. Yeah. The police report that Gail and her daughter were last seen at home sometime after 8 p.m. Saturday evening. Yeah. Their mode of dress at the time they went missing is unknown. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Angela Gale and Brianna Walker is being asked to contact the Mandeville Police at 876-625-3423. That number again, I'll give it to you, is 876-625-3423. You can also call the JCF at their 119 emergency number, or you can also call their Crime Stop number 311, or you can just go into the nearest police station. Yeah, we do not like to hear news of our females going missing, because it's always have this ominous tone to it, doesn't it? Yeah, we pray and hope that they're found and safe, right, and unarmed. And please, guys, if you or anyone you know hear of anything, please let the police know. Okay, that's what they're there for, to serve and protect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, continuing with the news. So the JCF, Jamaica Constabulary Force, right, have clarified that it was the Ray Street Market, what we call the Ray Ray Market in downtown Kingston, that was set alight by thugs last night, and not the Coronation Market, as was initially reported by the Observer Online. So I saw that video that went viral. Guys, I saw the video that went viral. I think they got the information from the Observer or from somebody was taking videos at the scene, and persons were saying it was the Coronation Market. That's what was reported. It was the Coronation Market. However, it is not the Coronation Market. It is actually the Ray Street Market. So according to the JCF, it said members of a patrol team were on operation in the section of West Kingston known as Lizard Town when they came under attack by a heavily armed group of men. The police patrol was pinned down for more than 10 minutes and were heard on the police radio, begging for support. Police and military personnel responded to the plea from their colleagues and engaged in a shootout with the heavily armed men as they made their way towards Tivoli Gardens, the report said. The police sources said the men had their cronies set fire to the market as a diversion as they made their escape. So that's what they did. They lighted the market to as a diversion, and as a result of that, they were able to escape. You understand? And of course, as you know by now, or you might or might not know, so let me tell you, the market was burned to the ground. Yes, the market was burnt down. The Ray Market is no more. It has been burnt to the ground. Several persons have lost, hundreds of thousands of dollars of goods that they had in the market. Their inventory is all gone. I heard one man said he had, I think five, not 5 or 6, I think it was 5 refrigerators filled with meat. He said because he sells meat in the market, and all the fridge, all the refrigerators were destroyed in the fire with his inventory. Yeah. So, guys, you are out there. Many of you have the wherewithal, you have the funds. You can afford to sacrifice some of your that money that is sitting in the bank account. These people at the railway market, they need your support. One lady said she lost everything and she doesn't know where she's going to get the funds to get back her inventory, uh, to buy it back, to right, basically to buy back inventory. She has no idea where she's going to get the funds to do that because all of her funds or savings were actually in her stocks that she had in the market, and she has no additional funds. And she said it's not the first that the market has been burnt, and they got nothing from the government. She said, you understand, the gentleman also said the same thing too. The government did not help and give them anything. Well, we are calling on the government. We said this is new. This is a new era. This is a COVID-19 era. It's an era of love and compassion, and we're calling on the powers that be. And we said, Minister Desmond McKenzie, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, sir, the ball is in your court to assist these persons, okay, to get back their goods and to relocate them while you guys decide how you're going to, because it has to be rebuilt, right? That market will have to be rebuilt. It is flat on the ground, so it has to be rebuilt, not renovated, rebuilt. And so they have to be relocated. All those persons have to be relocated. Maybe relocate them to the Coronation Market, I don't know. But of course, you have to give them help and to get back their inventory, right? Absolutely, that's what we have to do when persons, meet this kind of fate. Yeah, each one helps one. Absolutely, yeah. So very sad, and hopefully, I'll be able to hear more, so I can give you more as I hear it. Yeah, yeah. Very sad indeed. Okay, so as you know, right, school reopened yesterday. Well, not the entire school, just for students who are doing their CSEC, right, and their CAPE. So let me give you that story. So, according to Dr. Michelle Pinnock, the Minister of Education's Vision 4 Director, um, yesterday's temporary reopening of secondary schools to facilitate students sitting the Caribbean Examination Council exit exams in July went smoothly across Western Jamaica. Quote, the day went very well. Close to 90% of the students were present. Parents have been very supportive. The teachers came out. Even those who were not assigned to do so came out to show support, Dr. Pinnock told the Jamaica Observer. Continue to quote her. I think we were successful in getting our students to observe the social and physical distances, she said. End quote. The government had ordered schools closed on March 13th, 3 days after the country confirmed its first case of COVID-19 as part of efforts to contain the spread of the virus. But late last month, Minister with oversight for the education portfolio, the Honorable Carl Samuda, announced the partial reopening of schools to facilitate preparation for the exit exams and for the completion of school-based assessments, the SBAs. The revision program for students sitting exam for the CSEC, Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, and the CAPE, the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, will conclude on July 3rd. The CSEC exams, which are scheduled to commence on July 13th, will be administered in both paper-based and online formats. CAPE is scheduled to end on July 27th and CXC on August 4th. Yesterday, the educational facilities, however, were reopened with a raft of protocols in place. According to Andrea Wakefield, Vice Principal of Montego Bay High School for girls, she noted that the students were enthusiastic to return to the classroom and told the Observer that it was smooth sailing at her St. James School. The day went really smoothly. We had to, however, keep reminding the students of the different protocols because I get the impression that some of them were just happy to return to school, Wakefield said. But of course, there would be. They have not seen their cohort for how long? They have not seen them, so they would be happy to return to school. And you got to remind them to practice physical distance because they are children, and children don't know how to be physically distant from each other. Yeah. Paul Adams, principal of Herbert Morrison Technical High School, also in St. James, concurred that the day's activities went smoothly. He said, everything was in place. The students are quite intelligent, so we didn't have a problem with them. Of course, they would have been, because these are students who are to graduate from high school to go into college. Yeah. So these are 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds we're talking about here. Yeah. And maybe 16-year-olds, depending on, yeah. So today, that was yesterday, right? Went well. The turnout was very good, Adam stressed. In fact, he noted that the school will be using yesterday's activities as an exercise in health management, but it's also an exercise in logistics for the future. Over in Hanover, acting principal for Rossi's High School, Donna Henderson, said too that the day went well, stressing that there was a high turnout of students. She added that the compliance rate for students adhering to guidelines was over 90%. And principal of Hopewell High School, also in the parish of Hanover, Byron Grant, echoed similar sentiments. He said administrative staff and teachers came out in their numbers to ensure that the protocols were observed. In Westmoreland, the principal of Little London High School, Garfield James, said there was a high turnout for the revision of mathematics, which commenced at 9 a.m. The principal of nearby Grange Hill High School, also in Westmoreland, Errol Stewart, told the Observer that all went according to plan. He said students were, however, somewhat anxious. As a result, there was a bit of a reminder for students to adhere to protocol set. Stewart noted that the school had received items such as they got their hand sanitizers, their alcohol, spray bottles, soap, masks, gloves, charts, and infrared thermometers from the Minister of Education last week. Yeah, that's what we want to hear, don't it? Yes, we want to hear. Minister Carson said he was going to provide these things to the school, right? The Minister of Education would have provided these things, and it was done. Excuse me, guys. You know, I was. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank God for my water. I got to drink my water. And you must drink your water. You ought to drink your water. Water is medicine. And I'm not promoting any particular bottle of water here, so let me not show you to you because they're not paying me. Unless they're paying me to advertise their water, I'm not showing you their water. Yeah. Okay, guys. That's what you call product placement, yeah? All right, so to continue. Principal of Frome Technical, Norman Allen, reported that the operations at his school also went smoothly, adding that preparation for the transition started last week. Quote, this morning, referring to yesterday, of course, the 8th, temperature checks were carried out on each student after they washed their hands and before they were allowed to enter the classrooms. In addition, the bathrooms, which were usually cleaned 3 times during a regular school day, are now being constantly monitored. Students are allowed to purchase their lunches in groups based on their classes and return to their classrooms where the supervision continues. Once classes have ended, students then depart for their home. At Manning School, also in Westmoreland, Principal Steve Gordon said most students arrived by the school bus. They were then ushered to the sanitation station to wash their hands, and we encouraged them to wash up to their elbows, he stressed. And over in Trelawney, newly appointed principal of William Knibb Memorial High School, Linvern Wright, described the resumption of classes as a smooth transition. Things have been okay because they, that is the students, have been working with us in terms of this distance thing. Not that you don't have 1 or 2 students who are asking questions, right? But it's our role to respond to them and have them understand why. So pretty much we're into a lot of explaining why we have these things. However, there have been a few complaints, right? Oh, no, sorry, they have been compliant, not complaint, compliant. The only thing we had a glitch with was that students came in a little early. So we start school at 7:55. However, students came in at 6:50. That's how excited these students are to get back to school, guys. I was already here and I made arrangements for them to sit apart until the relevant persons came to take their temperature. Wright added. According to Wright, is also tasked with dispelling the myth that young people cannot catch the novel coronavirus, noting that a few of the students are uncertain about the severity of it. So we have the teachers explaining to them about the protocols and talking to them about how they feel about the COVID-19. There is one student who told me that it is not going to catch anybody. So I have to be responding to that because many of them have that notion. But of course they do. At the nearby Holland High School, Vice Principal Roxanne Blagrove, who echoed similar sentiments, added that some students felt a little anxious about returning to school during the pandemic. And of course, you can imagine they got that from their parents. Meanwhile, William Nib, grade 11 student Jamil Williams, said that she was somewhat nervous about returning to school. It feels stressing because there are so many rules and changes, but I guess it's for the better for all of us because we have exams to do. I'm very nervous because I'm not used to all of this, but we have to adapt, I guess. You see. So you see, what she's nervous about, guys, is that the COVID-19 she's nervous about, is that all these changes and these rules that she has to follow, and she has to remember to follow these protocols, you understand? I tell you, what we as adults are, we put as priorities, not what children put as priorities. Majority of them, you heard, you understand, that they were quite happy to return to class and they weren't even concerned about COVID-19. And the ones I am positing that the ones who have been expressing concern about COVID-19, they got that from their parents because children live what they learn and learn what they live. You understand? So because maybe the parents at home are anxious and maybe talk to them about COVID-19 and the severity of it and so on and so forth and get them kind of nervous about it. You understand? But by and large, young people, children and all, that's not what concerns them. That's not what bothers them. For them, COVID-19 is an adventure. It's an adventure for them. You see, disasters are adventures for children, you understand? While for us as adults, because remember, their cognition is different from our cognition, you understand? And so they see things differently, you understand? They are fearless, by and large. Most students are fearless. And so a disaster or a pandemic or anything like that is more of an adventure more than anything else. But for us as adults who understand the severity of these pandemics and these disasters, you understand, we get very nervous about this. And sometimes we transfer it onto our children. Absolutely. So, excuse me. So to continue with the news, guys, yeah. I gotta get you this one and give you this one. So, excuse me. A Jamaican who was formerly employed to the Embassy of Japan in Kingston is seeking redress for the unfair treatment meted out to that person. They did not disclose the sex, whether it's male or female, right, to that employee by the embassy. The accusation came after the employee was said to be unfairly terminated in February of last year, 2019 February, yeah? However, a statement from legal firm Nunes, Scofield, De Leon and Company, who are representing the Embassy of Japan, said their client has had a long-standing history of good relations with Jamaica, having established diplomatic relations in 1964, 2 years after we gained our independence. During that time, the embassy has had Jamaican employees who have always been treated with dignity and fairness, the law firm said, under the signature of attorney-at-law Tavia Dunn. Senior trade unionist and industrial relations consultant Vincent Morrison, who is representing the former employee, however, has expressed grave concern over the manner in which the Japanese embassy in Kingston has been treating local Jamaican staff and at the same time openly breaching the Labor Relations and Industrial Dispute Act and the Labor Code, with local employees having little or no opportunity to air grievances and resolve disputes or matters of dissatisfaction with the officials of the local embassy. Morrison said he wrote to the embassy in March 2019 on behalf of the terminated employee, and at that meeting, which was held in September 2019, and that a meeting was held in September 2019, adding that a promised response came only in February of this year, 2020, yeah? Excuse me. Since that time, we have been awaiting a follow-up meeting or response from the embassy, and despite several letters, emails, telephone calls, the Embassy of Japan has failed to respond, the trade unionist said. He stated further that in an effort to have the matter amicably resolved, a demonstration is being planned within the next few weeks in order to bring the public's attention to the excesses against the local staff at the embassy. Excuse me. The embassy, meanwhile, said it is aware of an employee who was engaged on a fixed-term contract which came to an end at the mutually agreed date, and said that Morrison, who represents the ex-employee, communicated with the embassy on behalf of the said employee. the law firm said the embassy, in the spirit of good faith, held discussions with Morrison and the employee with a view to reaching an amicable solution. However, to date, such discussions have been futile, the firm said, adding that the embassy remains committed to continuing such discourse. So here's a classic case, guys, of a he said, she said, right? Who to believe? The embassy, right? The lawyers of the embassy or the trade unionists and the employee. To be honest with you, guys, I would be more, they said that's three sides to a story, right? So there might be some discrepancy with both stories here, but I would more lean, I'm slanting towards the trade unionists and the ex-employee. Yeah, that is just from experience, from my experience, and I am leaning towards the employee with the trade unionists. Now, if this particular employee is registered with the union, right? Is a member of the union and going through this, imagine what persons who are not unionized have to go through, guys. Can you imagine what employees who are not unionized have to go through if this one who is unionized is going through this? Yeah, that's what we go through here in Jamaica. Right here in Jamaica, that's what we go through. Okay, guys, my program is going to be short today. I'm going to have a very short program today. It's not going to be a long program at all. So moving on, right, and I'm keeping my comments very short. Guys, I'm not seeing any thumbs up. You're probably giving me thumbs up. You know what? I don't know what is going on. I don't know if it is YouTube or what is going on at this point in time, but I'm not getting my thumbs up. My viewers are telling me they're giving me thumbs up and it's not recording. YouTube, what is going on? I'm not recording with you, but I'm saying, what is going on with your algorithms? Something needs to be fixed because I'm not seeing my thumbs up. And my viewership, I'm not seeing them either. And I know persons are watching the program. Come on. All right, so continuing, guys. So, leader of the opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, says he strongly rejects claims from Prime Minister Andrew Holness that the United Kingdom prison offer to Jamaica was implicitly refused by the People's National Party, PNP administration. Remember yesterday, I gave you the story about what the Prime Minister said, right? And his statement on Friday and on Sunday, right? Okay, so now it's only fair that I give you the opposition side of the story also, don't it? I can't just give you one side, right? Absolutely. So this is Dr. Phillips' side of the story now, okay? So, as you know, Prime Minister Holness had issued a statement on Sunday reaffirming his position that the administration did not reject the 2015 offer. From my perspective, and for all intents and purposes, the offer was effectively already rejected by the PNP during their term. And remember, yesterday I read you the statement that the Prime Minister made, right? The full statement was given to you. If you did not see yesterday's program, guys, go and watch it in my library, and you will see and hear the Prime Minister's statement. Okay, continuing with the story, but this was rebuffed by Phillips in a statement, right? So, but the Prime Minister said it was rebuffed by Dr. Phillips in a statement this afternoon, referring to yesterday, and he accused Mr. Holness of using the UK prison offer debate as a feeble attempt at blaming others for the deteriorating prison conditions and lack of proper governance of correctional facilities. He says there is no need to be controversy over the UK offer to assist Jamaica in building a new correctional facility, as the Cabinet Office and the Ministries of National Security and Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade have the records which can be made public. This is what Dr. Phillips says. Dr. Phillips says there is no need for controversy. We don't need a he said, she said here, because the Cabinet Office and the Ministries of National Security and Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade have the records which can be made public. Dr. Phillips said the opposition repudiates in the strongest terms the account given to the nation by the Prime Minister that the offer was implicitly rejected by the PNP administration through a lack of follow-up of the MOU signed by both countries and was therefore inactive when his government took office. Dr. Phillips said the Prime Minister should recall that he had vociferously opposed the prison offer from as early as during the official visit of British Prime Minister David Cameron in November 2015 and repeated its opposition many times during the 2016 general election campaign. In our final comment on the issue in the House of Representatives, the then Minister of National Security, Peter Bunting, pleaded with the Parliament to approach the issue with an open mind, examine the concerns against the country's human rights record and Jamaica's international reputation, and the possibility of creating a world-class correctional system of rehabilitation and reintegration. Yeah? Excuse me. The leader of opposition said he recalls that the then government continuously sought the support of the JLP opposition up to the time it left office to reach a consensus on this sensitive issue. Throughout this entire process, we did not sign the prisoner transfer agreement, Dr. Phillips said. This was neither a tantamount to a rejection of the cooperation to build the new facility nor allowing the issue to lapse. The ministerial statement by Peter Bunting is conclusive evidence of the status of the matter under the PNP government. He further said that the red herring which the Prime Minister is attempting to put across the trail is a feeble attempt at blaming others for the deteriorating prison conditions and lack of proper governance of the correctional facilities. In the statement of the opposition leader in the Senate, by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and the leader of government business on January 13th, Dr. Phillips said, it makes it absolutely clear that our government rejected the offer and closed the matter. Okay, so it's referring to the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith statement that she had made on January 13th, 2017. It is the rule that the ministerial statement and answers to questions are done through decisions of the cabinet, and so the Prime Minister needs only to refresh his memory and then come clean to Jamaica on the decision of his own cabinet, Dr. Phillips says. In fact, the minister refused to disclose reasons for the rejection, saying she would not disclose discussion between the two governments. The PNP is clear that the rejection of the prison is within the authority of the administration of the day, and therefore it is puzzling as to why the Prime Minister is pursuing an unprovoked resurrection of a dead issue to cover up the mounting failures occurring in the national security and justice portfolios. Okay, so that is the statement that is made by Dr. Peter Phillips, right? Concerning the whole matter. Now, listen to this. Now, continuing. Meanwhile, according to the United Kingdom High Commissioner to Jamaica, Asif Hamad, Prime Minister Andrew Holness told the British High Commissioner to Jamaica in August 2017 that his government would not take forward the United Kingdom's offer to help to build a prison here in the latest twist to the saga of who rejected the proposal. And so Holness had raised the issue back then, the High Commission said yesterday, in response to questions that were submitted by the Gleaner. The response was referencing the first meeting that Mr. Ahmad held with the Prime Minister after taking up his post in Kingston. Mr. Ahmad, the statement said, replied that you would not raise the issue again after you had that discussion with the Prime Minister, right? This is the latest take in the squabble between the opposition and the Holness administration over who rejected the $5.5 billion proposal that would see Jamaica finding only 60% to build the prison facility. Okay. Could continue, but to get the point. Yeah. So now you've heard three sides of the story. You decide who's telling the truth and who's telling lies. Yeah? I have gave a whole spiel on that, guys. So I am not going to go over that again, more than to give you, my intelligent viewers, right, the opportunity to formulate your own opinion as to who is lying and who is telling the truth. What I want to do is to give you a little international news. Can't end the program with some international news, right? Absolutely. So I give you information and you formed your own opinions, right? You can only make informed opinions, informed decisions when you have the information. So now I'll give you 3 sides to the story. So you decide. Absolutely. So international news. Let's go to New Zealand. So with the elimination of COVID-19 in New Zealand, the government is now looking to end physical distancing. Yeah. New Zealand reported 0 active cases of COVID-19 for the first time since the pandemic reached its shores, indicating it has achieved its aim of eliminating the virus. The South Pacific nation said on Monday, yesterday, right, that the last of its coronavirus patients has recovered. That makes it one of the few countries in the world to have successfully eradicated the pathogen, and the first among those that suffered a sizable outbreak. Only a handful of nations can make that claim, mostly small islands that had very few infections to begin with. According to the Director General of Health, Ashley Bloomfield, in a statement, having no active cases for the first time since February 28th is certainly a significant mark in our journey, but as we've previously said, ongoing vigilance against COVID-19 will continue to be essential. The development comes just hours before Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is expected to announce a lifting of all remaining restrictions on people and businesses, paving the way for a resumption of normal life. The only restriction to remain in place will be the strict border controls to keep the virus out. Congratulations to New Zealand, I say. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And to give you a little bit more international news, so Britain, United Kingdom, we just talked about just now, is pressing ahead with a 2-week quarantine on international arrivals, a move British Airways and other carriers say will devastate tourism and wreck any chance the summer holiday season could spark a recovery from a virus-induced slump. BA, British Airways, along with EasyJet and Ryanair Holdings, have threatened to sue the government over the policy, which took effect yesterday, Monday, June 8th, saying the restrictions will be ineffective at curtailing COVID-19 while threatening to destroy thousands of jobs. The airlines fear the move will make lockdown-weary customers put off bookings just as carriers add capacity. According to Mr. John Strickland, director of JLS Consulting in London, who has held senior positions at both BA, British Airways, and KLM, with the uncertainty over the rules, even those people who would have thought about going away on holiday in July or August are now holding off from making bookings, since nobody really knows how long the rules will last. Being locked down at home for 2 weeks after a holiday is something that a lot of people can't really afford to do. With virus infection levels on the decline in most European countries, governments have been easing travel restrictions and beaches are opening in places like Greece, Spain, and Portugal. Yeah, it continues, but that's about all I'm giving you on that, guys. Yeah, I got you got to go and do your research if you want the more details on these stories, right? Absolutely. But I just want to bring it to your attention so you know what is happening out there, and then you can now go and have informed conversations on the topic or do some more research on your own. Yeah? Yeah. So the last international story for the day. President Donald Trump. Yes, he is a happy man today, as a federal appeals court on Monday, yesterday, tossed out 3 lawsuits challenging his ban on travelers from predominantly Muslim countries. This is a victory for the Trump administration in its year-long defense of the ban. A 3-judge panel of the Richmond-based 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found that a federal judge in Maryland made a mistake when he refused to dismiss the lawsuits after the Supreme Court upheld the ban in 2018 in a separate legal challenge filed in Hawaii. The ban, put in place just a week after Trump took office in January 2017, sparked an international outcry from the Muslim advocates and others who said it was rooted in religious bias. We conclude that the district court misunderstood the import of the Supreme Court decision in Hawaii and the legal principles it applied, Judge Paul Niemeyer wrote in the unanimous decision. Justin Cox, an attorney with International Refugee Assistance Project, the lead plaintiff in the case, said the groups who sued are considering their legal options, which could include asking the panel to reconsider its ruling, appealing to the full 4th Circuit Court of 15 judges, or asking the Supreme Court to hear the case. The panel definitely got the legal issues wrong. It seems unlikely that this will be the final word, Cox said. Basically, it comes down to, can the president shield, obviously, because it action by essentially laundering them through cabinet officials, coming up with new neutral seeming criteria, he said. The U.S. Department of Justice declined to comment on the ruling. Yeah, so they lost their appeal, but it's not over until the fat lady thing, they says. So they are looking at other options, as well as they might go back to the Court of Appeal again and see if they can get them to change their mind, right? Yeah. Okay, guys. All right, guys. So that's it for me for today for my news, local and international. Yes, a short program today, right? I thank you so much for taking your time this afternoon to spend with me, right? I really appreciate you. Yes, it is such good news. You see what I was telling to you, saying to you all along, guys. I liked when things are validated, yeah, and people are vindicated, absolutely, because you heard how those teachers were behaving, right? All of last week before last week, and they were going on, and now you hear how things have run smoothly with the students going back to school, right? Awesome. That is good news. We like to hear that. So we're happy to know that the Minister of Education came through for those schools, and students were able to go back. So if you heard that the complement was over 90% of students who went back to school. So we can use our imagination and imagine that the ones who did not make it to school for could be because the minister did also said that those students who had underlying conditions, right, respiratory illnesses, etc. They were not, it was okay for them to stay home. They did not, it was not mandatory for them to actually go to school. So they didn't have to go if they had, illnesses, respiratory illnesses, or underlying condition, etc. And we do know that we have students who are like that, right? We have students who are asthmatic, right? And they have other underlying conditions, right? Other COPDs, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, right? And so you find that if we have over 90% of the cohorts attending school, then we can infer that the numbers that were not in school was due to some underlying conditions or some other problems, right? But we are happy to know that over 90% of our students turned up and are now preparing for their exams, which will start on July 13th. Yeah, and we keep them in our prayers, right? Absolutely. Very happy. Very good news. I love that. Okay. It shows that, sometimes we adults, sometimes we adults, we are our children's worst enemies. I'm telling you, because we look for problems where none exist. We sometimes look for problems where none exist. Yeah, and those teachers, I'm telling you, the educators who are educating our children, we have to just pray for them. That's all we can do, yeah? I tell you, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me. I really appreciate you. I thank you very much. Mwah. Looking so wonderful out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for my thumbs up. I know I'm getting my thumbs up, and I know that I'm getting my viewership, but for whatever reason, the algorithms are not showing them. But continue to watch, guys. Continue to share, like, and share the program. Continue to subscribe. I see new subscribers. Thank you for my new subscribers. I appreciate you, my new subscribers. Keep the subscription. If you have, guys, if you have not yet subscribed and you're watching and you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscription button right now. Subscribe right now, guys. Yes. I need the notification bell also that you're notified whenever I come on live onto this program, right? Absolutely. And remember, I'm on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Omega News JA. You can go over there and also like, comment, and share the link with your friends and family, guys. Yes. Remember that as a student of knowledge, I'm here to help you, my fellow students of knowledge, right, to navigate this life that we live in, right, so by being able to make informed decisions. Absolutely. And I know sometimes, you hear the news and you get all this information or this misinformation, right? I told you yesterday about those 3 stories that was in the Star, the Observer, and the Cleaner. 3 different stories about the one incident. That's just how things, guys, are, guys. You understand? And so it is now the onus is on us, right, as journalists, to be responsible, to be able to give you accurate information so that you can make informed decisions. Absolutely. And so that's what I'm here to do, to try to help you guys to do that, right? Absolutely. Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking, for sharing the link. I do appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow, Wednesday at noon, again for another episode, God willing. Absolutely. Remember, guys, when you go out, practice, okay? This not social distancing, and it's not socializing, but physical distancing, okay? You got to socialize because we're social creatures. Absolutely. So we have to socialize, but practice physical distancing 6 feet apart, as is the orders that was handed down by the government. Okay, remember to wear your mask, okay, responsibly, wisely, okay. Keep it on, yeah, for an hour or two. Make sure whenever you go out, you're not spending more than that time in any one particular place where you have to wear that mask, okay? Absolutely, because it's not healthy to keep that mask on. It's not healthy. And the maximum time you should have that mask on, guys, remember, it's 4 hours. Remember also that whenever you're handling anything, if you're sneezing, coughing, or whatever, wash your hands. Remember, guys, I see some of you washing your hands and you're not washing your hands properly. No, listen to me. If you're not doing this, right? If you're not washing beneath your fingernails, then the hands haven't started washing it. You have not started washing your hands until you wash even under your fingernails, guys. You gotta wash under your fingernails because under there is where the germ sometimes resides. You understand? Absolutely. Okay, so practice infection control measures, all right, and to protect the vulnerable. Remember to look after the vulnerable. Remember the persons, by the God, persons and my people who have, for example, underlying issues, whether they're diabetic or they're hypertensive, etc. Remember those persons who are hearing impaired, visually impaired, or other kind of disability that they might have. Look out for them and help them. Help the children, the orphans, the widows. Help everybody. Help everybody. Anybody you can help, just help them. Help. Yeah. Absolutely. Show love and compassion to your fellow men. Absolutely, my people. All right. Until I see you tomorrow, go with God. Remember that God loves you and so do I. Okay. So until I see you tomorrow, God willing, take care. Have a wonderfully blessed day. Stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye bye.